Hi fellow traders. In this video, I'm going to recap my one trade for today and take a look at the two tickers that I had from Scan last night and give you an idea of why I didn't trade them today. The first one is Save, and we'll take a look at the daily chart, show you what I looked at last night. And this is what I was looking at last night. It was still in the downtrend, made a 52-week low. And what I was looking for it to do was really continue to fade. Maybe test this level pre-market and, give me a trade off of it. Or possibly, testing the red to green line, which is yesterday's close. And then give me another trade from there to here. And then, another leg on down. So I like what I saw. I like the opportunities that it presented. But show you what happened today. It did just what I wanted to do pre-market. We lost the red to green line here. And it kind of held on this level all during pre-market. So I was loving it. I really thought I was going to have a trade on this to, out of the gates. But, I don't trade the first 5 minutes. And sure enough, the first 5 minutes, I got a candle that took the range out of both my trades I was looking for. And, usually when it does that, my plan is dead. It's time to back up and punt. So you can see there was really nothing I could trade. Some people took the trade off of the 20 here, on up looking at the VWAP. They got, a couple bucks on the good scalp, but none of the setups I was really looking for. I'm like more or less a sniper. I look for the real clean setups, a clean shot. I like one shot, one kill, or sometimes one shot, two kills. But I'm very selective, and I think that's what has kept me in the game as long as it has, and it's helped me to be as successful, as I am now. So didn't really do anything on there. CTRP was the other one, and you can see, this one gave me the first 5 minute candle was a lot of indecision, and this candle gave me a $3.10 range. So that threw me out. That was back-to-back trades just kicking me out. But let's look at, I'm going to show you what I was looking for on C-Trip last night. Okay, yesterday was the big day on it, the big move. So obviously today I was looking for some continuation on it. Had a big volume spike, and I was hoping to get at least half of that volume and give me a trade from either yesterday's close to try to push back up, which I thought probably wouldn't happen because you had this big sell-off. I was expecting it to probably test this level here and then fade back down to this level and then take another trade off of this level, on back down, for the next fade or the next leg down, which would have been right here is what I was looking at. But you see what happened? It gave me this big candle, second 5 minute candle. I wasn't going to chase it because it was washing out, and had I chased it, I still wouldn't have gotten anything or gotten the move I wanted. So once this washed out and this started consolidating, the lower deviation band flattened out, which whenever it starts to flatten out, you're not going to get much deviation from that unless you get a ton of volume come in or some news or catalyst to affect this stop. So this was pretty much dead to me, as was Save right after the move. I really look to trade these. If volume comes in, within the first 30 to 45 minutes. And then later in the day, if volume comes in, maybe getting another move, for off the VWAP one way or the other. But these aren't really the momentum trades that we like to look for sometimes. I just look for nice solid setups to get some good profit off of. Because we're not, we may not have good momentum stocks all the time. So I always have something to really look for. But that was it on CTRP. Didn't really do anything on it. The one ticker I did trade was GRUB. This was a gap down pre-market. And this was a nice move up. Even though it had this big candle here, you could have taken the trade off of this level here, and taken it up and got a nice little hit off of it. But I started looking at this when I got back from lunch. It was on my VWAP scanner, so I started looking at it. It looked pretty decent. It closed above the 29 in VWAP right here. So I took the trade, on this candle or in between here. I was on a 2-minute chart at the time. I switched over once it held. And, really was looking for a decent move up. Felt pretty good about it. Thought the volume was going to come in and drive it. This level here didn't really have any effect on trading in pre-market or when it went through it and came back earlier in the day. So to me, this level was insignificant. But obviously it turned out to be significant because when I was in the trade, I was looking at it, and when it hit 86, 87, you had all of these orders stacked up on the ask, and the bid had thinned out. And whenever you have more people on the ask, which are people wanting to sell, and you have very little people wanting to buy, the price is going to go down. Simple supply and demand. So when I saw that, I knew this trade was dead. So I was out and just kind of waited to see what it was going to do at this level, if it could push past it. But, being the type trader I am, I'm not going to sit here and wait and take a chance when I see something like that. So I went ahead and just left it off. And you can see it came back, tested this level again, and it held. So even though this didn't matter earlier in the day, just didn't have enough volume to deal with it. And this is why we look for volume when we're looking to make trades later in the day. Because volume is what's going to drive these tickers up and through support. You see how much volume here it had, and it acted like this support wasn't even there. So, one of the things that can trip you up, it tripped me up today, but still came out green. Was able to recognize it and, make sure that I plan my trades or not trades accordingly. But that was about it for today. As always, my stop, I forgot to mention it. My stop was going to be a close below the VWAP. Wait for a candle to kind of close below it. Unless I get a candle that's just washing out, then I'm going to get out. I'm not going to let it, be stubborn and let it stop me out. Because I can pretty much tell if you're looking, and what I mean by washing out, if you look at this candle and it has a range of 49 cents, this has a range of 49 cents. And these had smaller ranges, 34 and all of that. If I'm in this trade and say the average range of the candle is 20 cents, and I get a candle that's like 50 or 60 cents, it's washing out and I'm going to dump it. Because it may or may not come back. I'm not taking a chance to see whether it is going to come back or not. So whenever it prints a candle out of character, I'm going to look to take profits. If it prints one up $1 or $2, I'm going to take profits because I'm going to take advantage of that. That pop, because that's out of the ordinary. The next candle 9 times out of 10 is not going to do it unless you're in a trade and news comes out and then the stock takes off. So, just wanted to share that. That's something that, I think about and I look at and I use as part of my risk management strategy. Went through the scans tonight. Didn't really see much. Deck might be good. Not really sure about it. I still need to look at some more things on it. Just to give you an indication, it did make a $3.60 move, but I don't like the volume. It's a 31 million share float, which is good, so it's not going to take as much volume to move it. But I would like to see a little bit more interest in it. But that doesn't mean I won't have it on watch, because I've seen these make massive moves before, on the volume that it's putting out. But it is at least twice or 3 times its normal volume. That's a plus. So, we'll see. Just have to kind of wait and see what shakes out. And these two, no gap downs. This one made a new low, but then got bought all the way back up. So I'm not really interested in it. No new highs. So when that happens, I'll look at over 5%. I'll drop the float short 5% to see if there's any tickers that pop up. RCL, not really interested in it. And let's see if we picked up any new lows. KSU is a railroad. It's got a little gap down. $3.80 move. Yeah, and the volume is about twice the average daily volume. Looks pretty decent. Floats a little bit higher than I like, but that's not too bad either. So I'll probably have these two on watch, KSU and DEC. That doesn't mean I'm gonna trade them. I just look to see what happens at the open. I'm looking to see what it's gonna do. If volume is gonna come in, I'm looking for at least 250,000 shares to come in, like on Save right here. This is what I'm looking for. This was awesome. This one had almost 500,000 shares come in. It didn't have any pre-market, which doesn't matter on these tickers. I'm looking for volume at open. And I'm looking at it in the first 45 minutes. After that, it's still going to need volume, but you can see a lot of times volume just dies until the end of the day. But these give good solid moves when they set up, and a lot less risk and high reward. So that's why I like to trade these or look for some that may set up. So hope everybody had a great day in chat. There was a lot of good trades made today. A lot of good recaps done by Ross and Mike. You don't want to miss those every day. And when Jeff does his, I learn a lot from listening to them recap their trades, and that's what it's all about. Recapping and learning and being prepared for the next trade. So had a great day in chat. I hope everybody has a great evening and night, and we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow in chat.